Burping.
Oh boy, that was a big one. I don't think you got it on tape there. All right, guys.
Outside.
This is the Make Trades Great Again podcast. Everybody, welcome. I'm Eric. He's Andy, and today, Andy, let's talk about the new year. Right, so we're just a little ways into this new year, 2026. It's been a weird year so far, all around, but nonetheless, we're still operating, and we got to come up with some new rules, regulations, things like that for our own businesses. Right?
Yeah. No, it's a good time. You should be doing it all the time.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you recognize we have a problem or this doesn't work. We should probably just fix it. But yeah, you're right. I've got a couple of years ago, I revamped our price book in House Call Pro a little bit. And I said, I want to do it again. Like I need to do it more in depth, but on our like annual maintenance stuff. And so I went through and instead of having like quarterly filter changes, just be a, whatever, here's our quarterly filter change. And then at some point I changed the price. I made the service item now is like, so everything that I have currently is 2025 quarterly filter change. And that way, when I go to make the new one, they can look at it and say, well, this was the 25 price and this is the 26 price. If anybody ever questions, like, why is the bill different?
Yeah.
And we don't do a lot. I mean, we've got 8 or 10 contracts right at the moment, where we do quarterly maintenance on, like all the boilers in the building, all the water heaters in the building, all the rooftop units, all the air conditioners, wash coils, clean igniters. It's a fair bit of work. The nice thing is it's very predictable work.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily use it to like, oh, we're going to have this, so this is going to make this month a good month, but it's something that we can look forward to and say, the end of March, I'm going to have Tristan and Steve go do this stuff, and for 3 days, they're going to be over at this, bank building, washing coils and, getting this done and that done. And, it's nice to be able to schedule around that.
It's the kind of stuff that honestly keeps your business kind of going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you just need, the more you have of it, the better off you are in keeping people busy and being able to predict scheduling.
Well, and part of that comes down to too, is that you can take annual or maintenance contracts like that. And if you have enough maintenance contracts, you can technically keep an entire crew of people just doing maintenance.
Yeah. And if you're building from the beginning, it gives you an opportunity to move people into that role and even hire more people for it as you expand.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like it's its own little business or department of your business, basically, because, obviously larger contractors have install crews, they have service crews, they have sales, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That maintenance is really a skilled worker.
Yeah.
Outside of, flopping a filter. Don't take that the wrong way, but you get it. I mean, it doesn't take a lot to change a filter. But there's more to it than changing filter.
There is. Yeah. Well, and that's what we've kind of done with it is, there's 4 annual visits in a quarterly maintenance contract, hence its name. So usually our fall visit, preheating season visit, we're going through combustion controls, checking high limits, checking rollout switches, checking wiring, is there anything goofy with the burners, cleaning burners, cleaning flame sensors, how's the igniter look, that kind of stuff, making sure that that it's ready to run for the heating season, and we generally try to do that early heating season. That's the best time of year to do it, like October, September. And if we bank those just right, we do that one in the fall, and then dead of winter, we're just strictly there for a quick check and a filter change.
Okay.
Right. So, and then the next one, we end up with essentially another, because of our way our heating, our winter runs, we end up with another quick check come, January, February, or maybe just pre-summer. And we'll do some real
later
basic,
in the spring, really.
Yeah. We'll do some real basic outdoor maintenance, get the condensate traps ready to go if the unit has it. Look at a few things. We don't do coil cleaning that visit. And a lot of people would be like, oh, well, you should do it pre-cooling season. However, our cooling season starts really late because that's when it usually gets hot, is July, August. And we don't lose our cottonwood until June or the beginning to the end of June. That's like June's our cottonwood season.
Mm-hmm.
For anybody that doesn't know what cottonwood is, we're a river bottom community, and anywhere you have a large amount of water, like groundwater, you're going to probably have cottonwood. And it's a deciduous tree that in the spring pukes out this seed pod, and it's got this little thing that looks like a feather, and it sticks in everything.
They're pretty common all over the United States, I think.
I think they are.
I mean, north, probably north half or so, I'm guessing. So, look at me. In a past life, I was an arborist, obviously.
I mean,
obviously.
Right. But the thing is, if you go and wash coils in June and then the cottonwood flies, you probably better go back and wash coils again in the middle of July and clean all that stuff off, because otherwise your coils are blocked up and you're going to be running on high head pressure issues. So we've just decided, you know what, we're not going to do coil cleaning until July, right? We're going to try and hold off. And if we get a late spring, then you just do what you got to do. But it's anyway. So we try and base
you're going to have cottonwoods blooming
like next
this
week.
Year. Yeah. You're going to have them blooming in like May, the way your winter's going.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. But it depends. If it's a wet spring, if we get a lot of rain and it's a wet spring, then the cottonwood is delayed because the seed doesn't dry. It doesn't fly till it gets warm enough to dry the seed.
It doesn't fly until it's dry. There's like some kind of saying
Yeah, it's an old wives' tale.
Yeah. I can't think of any of those dumb. Yeah.
When the wives used to have tails, I guess. I mean.
Oh, it's spelled different.
I know.
That's a different word.
That's oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. On the price book thing, I've been saying this for a while. And I don't necessarily have the time, to be completely honest with you, or I'm not taking the time. When I do, I need to prioritize just basically starting over with my price book with In-House Call Pro. I'm not going to lie. I think it's a huge mess and incomplete. So it could totally be updated.
If I can offer you a little bit of advice with it.
Yeah.
If you're ready to be, you're like, I need to change something. Leave everything you have right where it's at.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Go in, create a new category.
Yeah.
So
you leave what's there so you can still operate in the meantime.
Yep. And then you can pull from that, right? Because you've already done all that data entry, and I don't know how your price book's set up. I don't know that we've ever really dug into it. But if, like, for instance, ours, I've got like, I don't know what it is, 7,300 material items entered in there. It takes freaking time to do that. Right? Not all of it's valid. Not all of it's current on pricing. There's stuff you look at and you're like, oh, I don't know how old that price is. But the fact of the matter is if I can get to that item in a handful of keystrokes and I didn't have to type it out and type out a description, I can change price. That's easy. And especially with all the online tools that we have now, it's not that big a deal. I mean, I try and get in and adjust pricing as regularly as possible. As soon as, like, if I'm doing a bid, if I'm doing a bid for, let's say, a boiler, we're going to do a boiler replacement. Here's an example. The other night, I haven't installed a KHB 155 in 4 years since I've been doing Viessmann, right? So I didn't have a current price in my price book for that. I had a line item from when I used to install a lot of Lochinvar. And so I went back, found that item, updated the price, changed it from a KHN to a KHB, updated the pricing, and then I now am putting a date code next to it, in the description, 126. Okay. Right. So now I know that when I look at that again in 6 months or whatever, that price was from January of 26. Is it valid? Is it not?
Are you putting it in the model number or something, or what?
No, just in the description.
Okay.
Just underneath 1-26, and it isn't like it gets in the way of anything. If anybody looks at it, they'd be like, oh, that's interesting.
What is the significance of the date, though? Because if the price has changed, does it matter what, you have to check it?
It just gives me a quick identifier, is this price this year or is this price,
who knows when?
Yeah. Cause I started doing this in 23. So every now and then I'll come across something, a Viga press fitting, it's a 2-inch female press adapter. Well, I don't use those very often.
Right.
Right. Well, if I looked it up and it was like, oh, it's, 423. Oh, juice. I definitely need to update the price on that because that's totally not right. If I'm doing something quick, I might go, yeah, that's close enough. If I made my full margin on that part, would it be the end of the world? No, not really. What are we talking about? Are we talking about 100 3/4 press 45s? Well, maybe I better sharpen that one up a bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But having that kind of organization in your price book is helpful. But once you have all those material items built in there, when you're creating your services, if you add the materials as you would theoretically use them, you're doing a boiler install. You've got this, let's go back to this KHB idea, right? On that service, it has my labor rate. I have underneath of that, I have the KHB boiler, right? Okay. I'm going to need, if we're doing a change out, we're taking a old KBN 155 out. We're going to put this KHB in there. I'm going to need a couple of 3-inch 90s, right? Because the PVC venting is PVC. So we're going to need a couple of 90s, couple of feet of pipe, whatever. So I can go in there and say, okay, I got 10 foot of 3-inch PVC, 4 3-inch PVC 90s. I don't have to code I may just code those in. Blah, blah, blah. Price is already updated. It's already up to date. And I build all of the items. And I'm not necessarily doing this for every boiler, but like when I'm building a boiler module, is the way I kind of set it up, is that each of them is a module. So
that includes additional materials.
Yes.
So you have to have your materials updated so your package is updated.
Correct. So the beauty of this is once you've built that module, so let's say like my B1HE85 module has everything it takes to get my boiler hung on the wall, vented out in a
reasonable amount of material.
Reasonable vent, yeah. And then connected to the low loss header, including the low loss header, right?
Okay.
So no pump because the pump's in the boiler.
Yep.
I need valves for DHW, valves, couple of drains, couple of, handful of fittings, some ring hangers, some sealing plates, 5 feet all thread, just that stuff. And you just start adding all that stuff in there. Pretty quick, you have a really solid number of like, I could look at this and go, yeah, anybody could go put this boiler in for that price.
That's what I have. That's how I have mine built, but I don't have even close to the amount of materials throughout my price book that get me through even, let's say, I won't say a week, but let's say a month, right?
Sure.
So I'm constantly just going, 14, which is the old code for plumbing for QuickBooks, remember?
Yeah.
I still use that in House Call Pro all the time. I just type in 4 because I'm like, I just put in a 3/4 inch stop and waste ball valve.
Yeah.
Do you think I have that in my freaking price book?
Yeah.
My God, I only put in about 2 dozen in a year minimum. So like, why don't I?
Right.
Because every time I've did it in the past, it was easier just to type 14 and then just change the description and say 3/4 inch ball valve stop and waste.
No,
you know what I mean?
We have a custom part item. And I just try to not use it, but I use it all the freaking time.
That's what I'm doing. It's the same thing I'm talking about. It's just I'm just using the old 14 code from QuickBooks.
In my mind, here's my my thought process on this. If I have manually typed the description for an item more than 3 times in a year, it needs to have an item.
Yeah.
And do you want to know how easy it is to make an item? You can do it right from your mobile app now.
Dude, shut up.
Yeah. There's a little place right in the bottom. It says add to price book.
I know.
You just pick a place.
I know.
Right. Anyway, so those are some things that I guess I have coming up that that I want to. I don't know why this is a poor business decision on my part. I always back burner this stuff. Because I'm like, when I get to it, when I get some time, I'll get to that.
Yep.
And then I'm like, but this is how I make my money.
Yeah. Well, I've got a partner in crime here that she spends a ton of time on our other business.
Yeah.
Spends time bookkeeping and banking for the plumbing heating business. But I think I'm gonna try to hire her to do more marketing for the plumbing business.
Yeah.
It's not something she has experience with. It's not something she can handle. There are just ebbs and flows, dips, like you just go periods of time without the phone ringing.
Yeah.
And it's because I'm not marketing at all.
Yeah.
Like I'm just not. And I need to admit that and do something about it. But my problem that I've always just made the excuse, well, I don't have time.
Right.
And the thing is I have a resource that has every bit of, investment in the success of this business as I do. And that, she could take it on if she's willing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's something I have to think about, because I think gone are the days of just relying on, I say this for a lot of reasons, and whether you feel this way about your business or somebody listening feels this way, I feel pretty strong that gone are the days of we can rely on the referral and the existing customer. And the reason I say that is Google will eat your lunch if that's the way you think it's going to go for the rest of the time you run your business. It may not be that way today for you, but I promise you, as I see it, looking back over all the years, you and me talking, oh, it's this way in my market now, and you have not having the same experience. But then just give it time. It goes in waves. It takes time to get to another state or whatever. The market has changed a lot. And these companies, these private equity firms, stuff like that are paying upwards of $200, $300, $400 a click.
Sure.
I'm not saying I'm going to compete with that or try to in that same using those same tools
can't as a one man. It's
no.
Yeah,
it's impossible. Right. I'm not going to try to compete using those same tools, but I'm not doing anything otherwise. Right. And I'm not talking about like social media stuff. I'm like literally saying there are useful tools in your community that you can get a lot of benefit for marketing on, and so I need to implement that 2026. Yeah. It has to be a priority.
Yeah, and you and I have talked about it in the past. About when you're marketing that, you got to dial that into the stuff that you want to do. Right? Yeah. Like, what's the profitable, value based?
What are you good at?
Yeah, right. Like like we talked, you do 118 boilers a year, perfect. But drive that thing to 170.
Yeah, for the maintenance side of things. Yeah,
right. What I mean?
It's the things like water heaters. Do I want to put in water? Yeah, because it's every house has one. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm not looking to do furnace changeouts. I'm looking to do water heaters. Right. Yep. It's quick. Yep. It's profitable. It's a great, solid business plan. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's a valid point. The furnace thing. It's like, there's money there. I mean, the HVAC industry is banging.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's also a market that if you're, and I can attest to this, if you're not playing the game of being a registered dealer and on each of this particular brand and really pushing your brand and utilizing all the tools that those manufacturers supply. I mean, because it's actually pretty freaking cool. The plumbing and boiler side of it, these guys are just starting to touch on this whole Navient's done it for a while, and Renai's done it, the partner program. Like, you hit certain tiers and they're going to help wrap a van. And they're going to give you, some radio spot help, and dial some of that in. But the HVAC industry has hammered that for years, where they're like, yeah, you're a Lennox dealer. We're going to wrap your vans, or we're going to give you a bunch of money towards wrapping your vans. We're going to give you, all of these professionally done marketing campaigns, right? Take this to your radio company or your local radio station and be like, I want to run X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And they'll basically upload it for you. It's that kind of stuff that is something that I don't take any advantage of. None.
Well, I think, yeah, well, like speaking specifically, like on the furnace stuff, it's not my skill set, to be honest. I mean,
Sure.
I could do it. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Not something I'm looking to do, but like I'm looking at, we're all up against that local competitor who is the lowest cost on purpose. Like we buy the cheapest equipment we can get our hands on,
right,
and we will underbid everyone.
right.
That is a mindset for some of the local contractors in my area, so I'm not looking to compete against that at all. No. Not even interested. Like I don't let them have it, like seriously, because I can do so much more with my skill set, or if I focus on other areas. And you're going to have that probably in every type of market and every type of industry, but like it's rampant and obvious if you're at all in tune with what's going on in HVAC. Plumbing isn't much different, but there are less alternatives, right? So like I could go buy a gas-fired 60,000 BTU furnace right now, and I can pick from like 15 different models.
Sure.
I can go buy a water heater and pick from, let's say, gas-fired of that type, power vent. There's like 4. You know what I mean? Like and none of them are cheaper than the other. They're all the same exact price within dollars, like cents, right? So like there's just a huge difference in how that how kind of the market as it is. But yeah, that's my take on that. The marketing thing is probably going to be a big thing for me. Last year we talked about it in an episode. I've talked about it a few times. I'm still working on it. I've talked to a few different builders, to be honest with you. I haven't spent any time on it in the last probably 3 months, which is my own fault, but I still am looking at that water conditioning idea where I come in as like a concierge type of service. Looking at that, I need to get serious about it. It will probably demand of our time the addition of a team member. And I'm not against that. It's just going to have to be the right kind of, I have to have a better plan than I have right now. I'm not there yet. And I might not be there this year. I'll be honest with you. It's just more of a time and basically resource kind of problem I'm up against right now, or I've created for myself, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
But unique too in my own, from where I'm standing, a lot of people know this, but I'm running 2 different businesses.
Sure.
I'm partners and helping run one, and I'm running this other one, which is more or less a part-time plumbing heating business, for all intents and purposes, but it's been able to maintain that that kind of status and operating status for a lot of years now. Profitable, we're doing fine, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because we've chosen not to expand. But I don't know that 2020, we're not planning that right now. I mean, we could change our minds sometime, but it's not likely to happen.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think this time of year, if you find yourself in the spring, being a little slow or a little light on the service calls, I mean, it's a common thing because a lot of people, and I'm way early saying this because I mean it's like springtime here in Western Montana for whatever reason. Certainly not in your area.
No,
but I was talking to we do a lot of work for this house, the local housing authority.
Yeah,
and they manage like a boatload of apartments. And the guy's like, dude, we already got all of our snow crews doing yard cleanup. Like
that's crazy.
He's like, we might as well be pulling leaves out from underneath the bushes and getting the rock beds cleaned up because you know what? It's dry. We haven't had any rain. We haven't had any precipitation in 2 weeks. Like the leaves from fall
you don't
are
have snow.
dry.
You have no snow on the ground. None.
Right. South sides. Right. Like shady, complete south exposure. Sure. Or north side. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll find little pockets, little bits of snow here and there.
In the southern hemisphere all of a sudden?
No.
But no, I get it. No, it's an off year for you guys, big time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had a buddy of mine that does snow removal. I mean, he does got a sizable landscape business.
Mm-hmm.
And so wintertime, they do snow removal and a lot, like
and
commercial
all
parking
of his
lots.
Equipment is mothballed right now.
Well, that's what he said. He goes, we basically have done all the maintenance on everything, all the maintenance on all the mowers, all the maintenance on the string trimmers and blowers. And all that stuff is all maintained, ready to rock and roll. And he goes, we're out doing tree trimming. He goes, my guys we're not arborists. He goes, but I got to find something for them to do. We're doing hedge trimming, like cleaning up all these hedges and stuff that we normally like scrambling come spring because it's all of a sudden popping. Everybody's ready to go. He goes, now's the perfect time. It's all dormant, right? It's all going to pop and come out, and that's where the sap's going to go.
It's also not 90 degrees and way easier to work.
Yeah. Yeah. And he goes, we're not in the spring cleanup frenzy, and so we're hoping to be a little ahead of that, So he goes, I don't know. Maybe it'll snow.
It will. We've had our share of weather. There's no doubt. It comes up on the podcast enough. I mean, honestly, it's a normal Minnesota winter.
Sure.
And I was watching, we got to wrap her up here probably, but real quick, I was thinking about this morning. I was going to tell you, as I was walking over to the shop, I walk across this patch of my walking path, kind of beat into the ground and the snow and ice and everything. There's this patch. It's probably it's grown to about 15 feet across that I have to avoid and walk around. That is probably 2 to 3 inches thick ice. It's like a glacier. It's like a glacier. I'm not kidding you. It is insane. It is. I say insane and I emphasize it because if I walk across it not paying attention, I promise you I'm going to crack my skull open. It's wildly big and slick and thick, and it's like this thing's going to be here until freaking May or June. But anyway, I was walking around, and so that's the state, right? So we've had some melting here and there a few weeks back, but it's been just insanely cold. There's feet of ice on lakes nearby, so like it is a real Minnesota winter. Right down the road, the farm field, you'll see it when you come over next. They sold the family that owned the field forever and ever. It's massive property. They sold part of it, and now they're putting like 15 houses in.
Sure.
So it's one single street, cul-de-sac, houses on both sides, and they're digging in a basement. But they did the road in the fall, pretty late in the fall. They didn't do power or gas, and I say that because they're digging power in right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't typically do this kind of work in the wintertime. You should see the equipment.
Right.
That knife blade that's on the end of this massive, I mean, I'm talking one of the beefiest freaking backhoes I've ever seen, track hoe.
Yeah.
This thing has got a knife blade, like the vibratory plow kind of blades, but this thing's got to be about 3-4 inches thick, side to side.
Right. Like a ripper.
It's a ripper. It's massive. It's got to be 6-7 feet tall.
Oh, that sucks.
And probably 3 feet front to back, or 2 at least, right? I mean, this thing looks like it's scary. It looks like a piece of like mining equipment. Like probably that's what it looks like, right?
Yeah, probably.
And it's to rip through that frost. I stopped. Just out of awe. I stopped because I drive. I mean, it's right there. Yeah. They were like 10 feet off the road.
Yeah.
My road here that I drive to. And I pull over, I walk out, and I'm like, hey, they were talking. They weren't running the equipment. Yeah. I walk over, I'm like, hey, drive by all the time. I just want to take a look down your hole. Like, this looks like it's pretty serious work because I know it's been like 30 below. Like, it's this.
Yeah, the ground's froze.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't understand what the ground is froze means because they don't live in an area where it freezes, or they think it's frozen because they got like a little bit of frost on the top.
Or the snow's on top of it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're talking about ground, just dirt, just earth that is frozen feet down. Feet.
Right.
So they've got this, and I said to the guy, I'm like, how deep is the frost right here? And he's like, anywhere from 4+ feet.
Yeah. The worst part about it is now that they expose that,
it's even worse.
You can't backfill with that dirt.
Well, they can do it like if they do it all in like the day, you know what I mean? Like they can get it cut, they can get it put back in place. But the springtime comes, they're going to have to do some mediation work.
Right.
Like it's going to be.
Yeah, because your pile is going to be like a pile of set up asphalt.
Well, Yeah, no, you're
until
not,
it thaws.
You're not wrong. I think in your area it might be different. It's sand and gravel. It's literally sand and gravel. So
Sure,
like
but
I
it
think
still
it'll
binds together and it's
yeah,
frozen.
yeah. Absolutely. No, you're right.
Right.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But it's wild. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The equipment.
We get, when we see that kind of excavation happening here, because we're not all sand and gravel. You get down 7-8 feet, deeper than 7 or 8 feet, and generally most areas in the valley floor, it's gravel, sand and gravel, similar,
Okay.
probably real similar, river cobble, and then everything, 8-inch minus. And everything from that 5, 6, 7 feet, the top is topsoil, like an alluvial clay from like Glacial Lake, Missoula, when it was here. And it's this hard pan, like clay or silt or like a sandy, like swamp, dried up swamp bed, basically is about what it amounts to.
Uh-huh.
And you take that out. If it freezes, you may as well just put it in a dump truck and haul it away.
Yeah.
Because it is not going to break. And it's not going to, it'll thaw eventually.
Yeah.
But you can't do anything with it.
Well, when I say this area, this like literally where I live is there's a massive landmass area that is one of the last gravel deposits that they've found usable for mining for like roadbed, that kind of thing. And so we just happen to live in an area where is like that's what we live on. And this is just it's the same, it's not any different quarter mile down the road that I'm talking about.
Sure.
But the it's just the equipment was wild.
That's awesome.
And hope and pray for me. No, I hope I don't eat it on this sheet of ice. I keep walking around it, but it keeps getting bigger. And every once in a while it snows and then I forget and like, I'm not thinking about it. And I'm like, oh, and I stop and I'm like, I'm standing on the ice with 3 inches of snow in between me, which is probably a recipe for like literal death. But okay, enough of that. We've gone longer.
Solar salt out and melt you a path.
I don't think there's enough salt. It's too cold right now for the salt anyway.
Yeah.
Imagine that. People probably don't understand that either. All right, dude.
All right.
We're going to go. Take it easy.
Good luck. See ya.